everybody. So today we will be reviewing The Flash Season 5, Episode 5, All Dolled Up. And this was supposed to be a Halloween special one.
Like 3 weeks late.
Yeah, I mean, it was late, so we got to watch it a little after Halloween. So in this episode, we get Nora. Because the episode before that, Nora had left Barry and Iris's place, and she went to live with Grandpa Joe. And so she gets to learn a little bit about her mom. And the other crew, Cisco, Caitlin, Ralph, and Sherlock Wills, are finding more about Caitlin's dad.
Yep.
While Barry and Iris are pretty much investigating and capturing the bad guy on their own. So it's like a couple thing for them.
Yep.
Yeah.
The villain for this episode, he got crushed by one of the satellites that fell from the sky.
What was the building?
No, he said it was a satellite.
Oh.
And so, obviously, as you guys remember, the satellite contains metapowers.
Dark magic.
Contains dark matter. And so, with dark matter, you get metapowers. And when the guy got crushed by it, his metapowers that he got was some powers that will allow him to morph his body, kind of similar to Ralph, but he can't. The only thing is he can't expand like Ralph. He can't stretch, but he can bend and flatten his body shape in any way. And so he's been stealing from rich people, and he's kind of creepy. He looks like a mix between...
I said a mix of the Grudge because he crawls, and the hair looks like Sideshow Bob.
Yeah. And so he's kind of like a mix between the Grudge and Sideshow Bob, where he's got the red hair like Sideshow Bob, and then he crawls kind of like the Grudge. This episode was a way of showing to Nora that this Iris is different from her time Iris, her mom Iris from her time. That this Iris, she loves Barry so much, and that she's willing to sacrifice herself and do anything for the ones she loves. And you guys can kind of agree that this comes from the fact that she is, because Barry messed with the timeline, it's a different Iris now. It's not the same Iris that he used to know. And so there was a part where Barry gets captured and he gets locked onto a chair, and so the bad guy pushes him off. Iris runs and jumps off the building to free him from the cuffs, which allows Barry to use his speed and runs off the building, and so it saves them both. Now, what does that do for Nora? It shows Nora that her mom, although she has no metapowers, that doesn't mean she can't be a hero. And Nora has this misconception that Barry Allen, her dad, is this hero because of him, because he's this great superhero. But reality, what she doesn't understand is that he's this great superhero because of the people around him. That's what makes him strong. And Cecile kind of shows her that through the books and through explaining to her. So they capture the bad guy, they lock him up, but a sneak peek clip happens later, and you have to watch it on their YouTube channel or whatever, that the guy gets locked up, but his cell has a vent, and he looks at the vent, and I was just like, well, he's gone now.
He's just like, I'm gonna flat myself and glide out.
Because I don't think this is Iron Heights anymore.
I think he was on his way to Iron Heights, or I don't know. Every single one of them is trying to go to Iron Heights, but on the way they stuff happens to them. But for this episode, we don't get to see Cicada at all.
Yes.
Cicada is not involved at all for this episode, and it is more of it shows more of a family thing, for the West Allen family, how they're doing, and then for our little crew, Star Lab crew, of how they're trying to solve things. And we get to see their side, that Caitlyn's dad really is not dead, and he's hiding out there in one of her mom's like closed down Black Ops place or something like that. And apparently her dad, I guess this is my guess, he was trying to create that winter lady whatever. I
think someone was funding him to do it.
Yeah, and I think he was trying to do it to him.
Right.
But my guess is Caitlyn got in the way, and that's how she got Killer Frost at a young age. If not, the dad put it in Caitlyn, and it turned out bad, and he's been trying to get rid of it. Therefore, he's been trying to do research on himself to learn how to get rid of the Killer Frost so that he could put it on his daughter so that he could get rid of Killer Frost forever.
Yeah.
That's my thought of it.
Yeah, based on what we read on some comments of what people were saying about who the dad's going to be, I think it's kind of leaning towards that her dad's going to be a villain.
Yeah, because he's coming next episode.
Yeah, so I think he's going to come kind of like as a good guy at the beginning, and then it's going to turn out he's a villain.
Yeah.
And I think Caitlyn's going to realize that her dad succumbed to the meta powers of whatever he was working on. So as you guys know, there is different ways of attaining meta powers. You don't necessarily have to get hit by dark matter. You can create meta powers. And it's kind of like the whole idea of Reverse Flash. He never got hit by dark matter. He just created the reverse speed force, and then he put it in himself so he can run fast like Barry as well. So you can create meta powers, and I think he created it thinking that it was going to be something good, and it turned out that it turned bad, and the project must have got shut down, and so he went into hiding, continues working on it. But I don't think he ever thought that Caitlyn was going to be able to become at peace with Killer Frost. I think he thought that, okay, one day one's going to take over the other.
Yeah, it brings us back to the previous season when Caitlyn was trying to get rid of Killer Frost, and she went to see her mom about it. I think her mom knew already. Her mom's probably like, oh my god, like, he did it. He put it into our daughter, and she's finally coming out. I think her mom was trying to find a solution to get rid of it without having to contact the dad, because if the dad knows that it worked on Caitlyn, I think he's gonna come back.
Right, because if she has a cure, if she somehow figured it out, I think he's definitely gonna try to use whatever's left of Killer Frost to steal her powers away, because it almost looks like it's not working for him.
Yeah, and like it's like he's turning all weird, and it's like getting side effects and everything. While Caitlyn can like bring out Killer Frost when she can, and she can turn back, and it's like they communicate and everything, and they work together and stuff like that. And so I think the dad did not expect his daughter to be able to do that, and I think when she was able to contact her mom last season about it, her mom's pretty much like, okay, that's like we can't let your dad know. Like that's all. Like with this season, when Caitlyn goes and asks about her dad, her mom's just like, he's dead. Like that's it.
Leave
like,
it at that.
Yeah, leave it at that. Like I don't want you near it. And so you kind of get that idea that the mom loves Caitlyn, because the passcode to her storage room where all the files are, it's Caitlyn's birthday.
Yeah.
Like it don't matter. She loves Caitlyn a lot, but it's just she just wants Caitlyn away from her dad. Period.
Yeah, it's almost it's a little similar to the whole idea of future Iris West and Nora. It's almost like the mom knows that the daughter has meta powers, and she doesn't want the daughter to end up like the father, so she dampens it, she hides it, she doesn't tell her about it. So I think we're kind of getting to see like Nora in the future is like how Caitlyn is right now, and Caitlyn has to come to that understanding that, you know, her mom is just trying to protect her.
Yeah.
Because her mom knows that maybe what her dad was doing was bad, you know.
Yeah, so pretty much for the whole Team Flash of them, Star Lab of finding her dad is setting us ready for next week's episode where we do meet her dad, and it narrows back to our original crew of Flash, Cisco, and Caitlin. So we now know that Cisco cannot vibe anymore because he's injured and it takes a lot of time to recover. And the more he uses his vibing, the more dark matter is going into him. So Caitlin is pretty much saying to him that you should remember who you were before you became the vibe. You were our hacker, our engineer, our technician, everything. You were the core to us. So they're bringing that Cisco back. And so we get to see the three of them go next week finding Caitlin's dad. And pretty much you kind of get the idea that Caitlin's going to fight Cisco and Barry to save her dad.
Yep. And they're going to have to convince her that her dad's a bad person.
Yep.
I think it's going to take her mom.
Mm-hmm.
Her mom's going to step in
yep.
and make her understand that, he's not a good person. That what he did was wrong. And maybe he did experiment on her, and that's why the mom shut it down. We don't know yet. But that could be the reason. So that's going to be next week's episode, which also marks the 100th episode of The Flash, which is awesome. We watched every episode.
Damn, 100 episode.
Yeah.
I always say to Ahjuxue, when I watch, series or dramas and stuff like that, and they're, 100 plus episodes, I don't want to watch that so long. But when you really look at it, come on, we watched The Flash for 100 episodes now.
Yeah, and didn't even know it. Yeah. So, congratulations to the Flash team and to CW, to the DC television guys. You guys truly kind of rule the TV series, because Marvel's got some, but they're just not as big as the DC ones. And I really look forward to the next 2 seasons of The Flash, the next more seasons of the other series, and Batgirl as well. But I've heard other rumors about other shows that could potentially happen, so I hope it all works out, because I truly believe that Flash gave them the spark that they needed for their TV shows.
Yeah, because
Arrow was there, and people knew about Arrow, but people didn't really feel the superhero energy of Arrow.
Yeah, because when the first season 1 came out and Ahjuxue introduced it to the two of us and we watched it and we had to wait for season 2, Arrow was already in season 3.
Right.
And I went back and watched all 3 seasons, and honestly, Ahjuxue didn't watch it. I watched it myself, and it was just a lot of confusion because it was a very slow pace for the Arrow. The first 3 seasons, it was a very slow pace because it was him slowly just coming out as the Green Arrow to save everybody, but people were seeing him as the vigilante, and he was trying to solve all these stuff that happened within his family. So it was a very slow pace of everything getting slowly recovered, getting slow puzzle pieces to get the full picture. And it didn't really pick up until season 4. So the first 3 seasons was just a very slow pace. And say with Supergirl, the first season was very good pace, and season 2 was kind of a little bit slow too. And so season 3 is okay, getting in. So, but for the Flash, it's been very excitement and everything, and it's really good how they have all the crossover. Therefore, you have to pretty much go watch the other series
to kind of understand where they're coming from.
Yeah,
but again, the 100th episode, it's a huge mark for the Flash, and I look forward to seeing more of them, and hopefully next week's episode will kind of start digging into the crossover, because we all know that the crossover is Elseworlds, and they've already kind of shown a trailer of Barry's version and Oliver's version. So hopefully this one's going to come up and it's going to give us more detail of what's going to be happening.
Yep. And that is it for the Flash review. We'll see you guys next time.